Welcome to cyberspace.
Darknet is a puzzle game, and you're kind of floating in space, and you've got this web of nodes, and there's this master node that you have to conquer in order to win the level overall. And nodes are usually protected by other layers of security, and there are other nodes connected to it in the web. So it's always beneficial to take some time to capture as many other nodes as you can. But the challenge will be in deciding which method is the most efficient, as there is a time limit overall for capturing the core.
Begin.
Essentially, this game is a series of puzzles within a puzzle. Each node, or like little ball thing that you can see here, is in itself a puzzle, and when you go into them you're faced with another web, and the idea is to infect this web with your viruses. You can plant a virus on a node and it spreads in steps. However, the other uninfected nodes will equally hunt down your virus in steps, so it's about strategically placing your viruses so you can infect the centre without getting wiped out first. And as time goes on, you'll encounter other situations that add layers to these puzzles, so they introduce new rules, new things to think about. Some nodes, for example, are protected by shields that take a little bit more work because you need to take out what's connected to them first. However, as you play, your arsenal also builds. Capturing nodes gives you money, and through buying up the right supplies you can deploy these items in ways that will help you. So viruses are your main weapons, but you can use exploits to remove firewalls, and the fantastic Hydra item will take over all undefended nodes in one impressive swoop. It sounds complicated, and when you're faced with this web of colours that all mean different things, it certainly looks that way. But thanks to a solid tutorial and gameplay that builds complexity in a very logical way, the colour code and the mechanics of the puzzle quickly become second nature, and you find yourself, in a way, like thinking in portals, and fully within the logic of the game. So you never really feel out of your depth, and there's always the right amount of challenge. The game will even recommend levels for you to try based on your previous accomplishments, but it doesn't feel like you ever have like a guiding hand strictly keeping you on the rails. Beyond the tutorial and the odd light suggestion, you're largely left alone to solve the puzzles in this virtual world. And while it is a simple virtual world, it's still quite striking. The game could technically work in a non-VR environment. For example, you could just scroll around a screen to see the extent of the web, and you could like tap or click into individual puzzles where you can do the same, but you would lose something, I think. It's very cool to look around you and see the extent of the web and the entire puzzle that you have to solve. The colour scheme, while a little cartoony, is reminiscent of a fictional digital world with airs of Tron thanks to these bright neons against deep blacks, and everything pops really well, and the sense of space is impressive if you're playing in VR. At the moment, I think that the VR space is lacking when it comes to really good, solid puzzle games, so it's nice to see Darknet creep in. And VR can take you to all sorts of worlds and give you all sorts of experiences, and given that it's almost at the edge of technology, what's better than a game that makes you feel like you're some kind of hacking mastermind? Just be sure to use your newfound hacking powers for good.